Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout where we want you to play with your strength and maybe flex a little bit here.
Well, I was just saying, all you need is your body weight.
All you need is that.
And this
little bit of space. So make sure you're out of the way. And we'll start with warm up, work on some hand balances like the crawls and the core and the hips. Let's start with the head neck, and I'll be starting in a stance that's comfortable, similar to that squat stance maybe. With the hands across the body, we'll start the head neck, and we'll start by doing our extension and flexion, meaning looking towards up, casually up, and then a small effort down as you just aim to tuck the chin to the top of the clavicle or sternum, and then repeat again for sets of 2. Low effort up, and repeat one more left effort down or flex, and then repeat on the horizon. And then an ear to a shoulder, lateral flexion, and then extension. And then to the other side. As we do this one more time each way, move the head, not the neck, and the chin should move very, very little. Repeat one more time to the other side. Keep your face forward, and then reset in the middle again. And lastly, at the head neck, we'll do the rotation. Rotation to the right, rotation to the left. Pull the crown of the head high to make room for this rotation. And we'll do one more either other way, which gets us to 2 total, and then finish back in the middle. Let's just shake that out. But then bring those arms right back up and retract the shoulder blades. Let's just pick up with that lateral flexion right away, that up and over action of the core, and then through center to the other side. As we're flexing the ribs here, we want to make sure that we're doing it over top of the ribs as to avoid a really big reach and instead just oscillate on top of the hips like a bowl of punch. I'm sure that cue will come up a little bit later. Now we'll flex forward. So keep the shoulder blades back, those T-Rex arms or arms across body, and flex forward. And now find your shield of abs as you're pulling the abs down to help lift the rib cage up. Repeat again. The shoulders are retracted. This is our last time. We flex forward. Find your abdominals pulling down to feel the tension up. We'll save the rotations maybe a little bit for the ground. And until then, let's get to the floor there, Lauren.
Okay.
Take us down there.
Let's get to the floor. Let's put our feet in a parallel position. And before we get to the floor, let's roll over those toes. So first, let's bring our knee forward, bending our toes in that lunge foot and staying tall on that standing leg. Then we'll use our toes to point. We'll gently flex and round over the toes. Then we'll go back to the toe point, the ball of the foot. To switch, let's go up to a light balance and then come down on the foot you just did. Point toes, roll over toes. Back to demi or lunge foot, up, come down and switch. Point, roll over, roll back, up and switch. We'll do this one more time, but we'll have a little bit of an addition here. So we'll go up to that balance. This time as we land on that heel, gently bend the leg that was straight. Try to think about keeping those hips in that nice level position and then extend to tall. Double press up, one leg comes down, knee bends, tailbones lightly tipped to the back wall, press to tall. We'll come up on 2 points this time, hold. Then to descend to the floor, can we slowly start bending our knees, but keep those heels high off the floor as you descend. And then with or without hands, soft landing on those knees, extend the hips, point the toes out the back, and let's sit on those pointed feet. How does that feel through the top of the legs and the tops of the ankles? And then use your hips extend, and we'll just do a quick wrist here. So with our hands out front, our elbows nice and straight, and our shoulders pulled together, we'll hinge on the hips, place our fingertips down, rolling through the fingers. Then with the elbows straight, turn the palms down to the floor. Now, let's just gently shrug our shoulders up into our ears like we said, I don't know. And then we do know, so we pull our shoulders down.
We know.
One more time, shrug up. I don't know, but I do, so I pull my shoulders down. With our elbow pits or those blood rotations trying to point forward and our shoulders down, we're going to actively rotate those elbow pits backwards. So keep your hands screwed into the floor. Keep your shoulder blades stationary and rotate your elbows backwards and then rotate them forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Rotate them backwards, trying to use the muscles and some tension as you do this through the whole action. Last one, rotating them backwards, rotating them forward, end with them forward, and with heavy hands into the floor. You're using your whole hand as you would your foot. Your toe fingers are pushing down. The balls of your hands, feet are pushing down. You're gripping, and then you're pushing the palms away, flicking the floor away with those fingers and shaking that out. Today we'll do one full turn of the hands, and we'll come down this time, fingers facing you, callus lines, and then palms. Again, I don't know for a second, but then I do, so I pull my shoulders down into those lats. As I'm sitting here, can I keep those elbows nice and straight and lightly sit back into this? Keep shoulders out of your ears, elbows straight, fingertips heavy on the floor, palms heavy on the floor. Then rock yourself forward, add a little bend to the elbows, try to rock back into that, and then slowly peel the palms away and the fingers, giving that a little shake.
Excellent. We've done stuff up here and stuff all the way down here. Let's meet in the middle with some hips in our lunge position. The foot warm up there borrowed a little bit from our bar practice, and this lunge does borrow a little bit from our get up or kettlebell practice. With the leg in front, pull that femur in the hip, tipping it towards like a cow, and then scoop like a cat or bum cheek squeeze post tilt of that back leg. Create tension, stay there, and then just chill. Same effort, pull in the front, tuck under that back. And what I'm about to ask is not possible, but as a trend, push down energy into the foot on the front and lightly try to pull that back knee off the floor. Hold that for 5. Breathe into that intensity, showing itself on the quad or hip flexor, and then just easy on the off. Let's just take that leg out to the side and do that only once, and then add our rotation from here. So we're pulling that femur into the hip. We're tucking under the kneeling leg. Then lightly, of course, push down on that lateral facing leg as we aim to pull the knee that's on the floor off. And without moving, it's not possible, but still figure out that effort and then chill. Like I get up, let's take the hand across the chest of the knee that's facing side. And then at the head, look over the knee. Then at the torso, rotate as well. Then we'll hinge on that hip, place a hand on the floor, grip it, pack a shoulder, and then at the head neck, rotate so you look at the thumb on the ground. Then keep the shoulder blades retracted and gently breathe into this as you rotate the rib cage or the sternum towards the floor then. Look over the shoulder to return to the ceiling, and then open through the body once more. At the head neck, rotate to the ground. If you're a golfer, keep your nose on that golf ball, which is your thumb, as you turn your shoulders. Then look at that golf ball fly center down the fairway as you look up over the shoulder, and then the shoulders open. We'll push the floor away. Now reset the head and the shoulders to center, and then follow with the leg. Squeeze Lauren's right butt cheek, that one that's kneeling on the ground, to make room to bring this leg somewhat effortlessly or efficiently underneath. Other leg, same thing. We have a cat-like hip in the back with the butt cheek squeeze, a cow hip in the front with that femur compressing or pulling in. Hold for tension, and then just stay. Repeating those same cues and then adding that pull-push tension. Squeeze your back cheek, pull the front one in. It's not possible, but pull your knee that's on the floor off, feeling safe action on the hamstring glutes of the kneeling leg, and then all kinds of intensity on the hip right here. And then stay. We'll take that leg out to the side, always aiming for those level hips like a punch bowl, and we'll tuck this one. We'll pull that one in, and then pressing down on that lateral leg, aiming to pull up on the kneeling leg. 10 seconds of work, and sometimes I do lose track, so we'll call that just about enough. Then we'll take the hand, coordinate with that leg to the side, then rotate the head that way. We'll rotate the torso that way, and we'll continue to hinge on the hip. From there, look to the ground with the head, lock your nose in on your thumb, and look for a modest rotation of the rib cage here, reaching towards the ground. Then look over the shoulder, rotate through the rib cage shoulders there as we face the side wall. And for the last time, it's the head to the ground. Lock your nose in on your thumb, turn the rib cage, maintain your breathing, and then look to the wall one more time. Ceiling, and then through the rib cage, and then push away. Square on up, Bring that leg underneath. Checking in. A little bit of head, a little bit of shoulders, some feet, some hips. What's next on the menu?
Let's fire up that core.
Fire
So
it.
since we're here facing the floor, we'll walk ourselves out into our first, let's do a bear hover to start today. So hinging on the hips, hands will open up nice and wide, toes will tuck. Our knees are under our shoulders, our hands are under our hips. Right now, without changing anything, let's pull the floor together under, oh, my abs are so
Abs
sore
are
from
so
something we did the other day. So this is, okay, ready? Pull the floor together underneath you. Try and keep the spine straight or nice long so nothing changes there. You're just bracing around your core like a nice solid tree trunk. You're pulling your hands towards your knees without moving for 3, 2, and then just relax that tension. If that tension was enough for you in this bear position with your knees down, you could stay. Or we could add on by pulling the floor together and then hovering the knees up off the floor. Let's create that tension again, though, by pulling the hands towards the knees. The shoulders stay low. We're breathing. We're keeping tension here. If I tried to reach through the screen, I couldn't push you over for 3, 2, knees down. Just push the floor away. Take a second off those wrists, but we're going to come back to that right now.
Right now.
So come back down to the floor, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, shoulders packed. You could do this with both knees down, or we could hover, lift the knees off the floor. Then take a single leg and extend it out the back. Your hips are square to the floor. The knee that's bent stayed the same height off the floor. Push down that back leg for 3, 2, return it in, trying not to spill the bowl of water that's on your back. Other side. Reach along out the back. Square up your hips. Keep that other knee hovered off the floor. Return the long leg in. Don't spill the water. One more time each side. Hips square to the floor. Push that long leg down. Return it in, no tipping. And last time, other side, reach long. Stay square. Push down. 3, 2, knees both under. Land. We'll stand up from here via our toe squat. So sitting back on those feet, we'll then extend the hips forward. We'll tuck the toes underneath. And with or without the hands, we'll rock back up. Let's this time find our heels and then slowly press through the heels to drive ourselves up to tall. Give that a little shake, and we go.
My abs, Lauren.
Yeah, they are in pain.
So a movement the other day was a little bit
mean
of
it's
a different movement. We've been working out consistently for 3 times a week for half hour with you. So it shouldn't be that different, but the specificity makes it much more challenging. So try new moves slowly. Holy, the ha-ha abs are there. Let's get going. Feet are in that parallel position. And we'll start by just bending one knee and taking the other leg straight out front. Working on the movement clock series starting in the front, and then push the hip through, finishing tall. Then take the leg towards the side of the diagonal, that 10 or 2 position on a clock, and then push through. When you reach out to the side, let's try to point those toes and show that inseam forward, and then under. Now reaching to the back, we'll hide that inseam, but still energize through the feet, and under, and then last one to the back. Slight lean forward is allowed. And under. Same thing other side, out to the front. And push those hips through to stay on tall. Reach, very light weight on the leg out to the side. 99% of the weight will be on that standing leg. Out at the side, keep that turn out, extend the hip forward, but out the back, we can turn that hip in, energize the toes still.
Meaning point.
And then the last one, out the back, and breathe. And through. We'll continue to work on those movement clock series. Until then, it's back to the crawling exhibits.
Okay, we're gonna take our bear up a little higher so it becomes a higher bear.
Higher bear.
In your hinge position, let's tip with your feet slightly wider than your hips, we'll hinge down. So we'll gently tip our tailbone towards the ceiling, push the hips back, and then walk yourself a little bit forward. In our high bear here, what that means is our knees are going to stay bent, but they'll stay elevated higher than they were in that last bear position. Our hands are gripping the floor. Our shoulders are shrugged up into our ears, so we're pushing the floor away. Prioritize tipping that tailbone to the ceiling, sending the femurs out your hips, and then maybe a little bit of an extension in the knees, but not fully. Now, with that tailbone remaining tipped, let's take a hand opposite foot and step forward. Peeling the hand off the floor, My heels are just slightly off the floor here with these bent knees positions. That is fine. Again, prioritize that tip of the hips, reaching the tailbone up to the ceiling. We'll take our last step in the forward direction, and then we'll reverse it. Again, it's opposite hand and foot. Peeling the hand away from the floor, trying to land and pick up at the same time, and trying not to weeble wobble from side to side. Once you're done, push your hips back so you end up in your hinge position, and then push down and out on the floor to extend up to tally tall. Give that a little shake, and we'll go back to those leg drills.
Those leg drills continue to work in that parallel position here, and we'll be drawing half circles. So take a leg out to the front first on a straight leg, and then reach it out to the side. Then let's turn in on that hip and adduct or bring it in tight together, growing tall. Repeat just once on the other side. To the front, to the side, let's keep those hips forward. Then we'll turn in on that hip, get tall, and bring it under. Now, with one repetition, let's do it to the back. So a straight leg, reach to the back. Keep that balance. Then like a key in a lock, open from the back to the side. At the side, let's just turn in on that hip again and adductor, meaning bring it in together. Then there will be a weight transfer here. So grip with those toes and reach back. Key and lock out to the side. Then turn it in and pull it in tight. Now just for once here for this set, let's do a knee bend out front. Bring the leg out to the side. Turn it in. Stand up and pull. Then once the other leg in the same corners. So knee bend out with a leg out front. Reach out to the side. Turn it in. Extend the hip to stand tall and pull. Just once to the back. A knee bend with a leg out back. Then open to the side. Show me that inseam first. And then let's turn it in and hide and extend tall and pull in. And the last repetition to the back. Open up to the side. Then turn in. Extend the hip, making room to pull a leg. And shake.
Whew. All right.
Curls.
We're going from a high bear to an elephant. So what that means is we're just going to gently try to straighten those knees. Let's this time come down through our forward fold. So with our feet a little narrower, our arms at our sides or our chest, but our blades are together. We'll tuck our chin. We'll start flexing first at the head neck. Then we'll start flexing through that sternum or through the rib cage. Try to shift your weight a little bit more forward in your feet so you're flexing over top of the hips, avoiding sending the hips back behind you. Belly button is pulled in. We're rounding and rolling ourselves in the forward direction. And then once you get to your forward folds, you can let your arms go and just kind of dangle here and breathe. So as we dangle and breathe here, maybe bending one knee and straightening the other. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves out into our elephant position. This time, let's bend our knees like we were in that bear. Then tilt the tailbone to the ceiling. Then lift the knees up to the ceiling, or lift the hips up to the ceiling, keeping that tailbone reaching. Now slowly try to straighten the knees, pushing the heels towards the floor, maintaining that tip towards the ceiling. As we go here, we're going to take opposite hand and foot, and they'll step in the forward direction. We're breathing. As we lift that leg up, we're thinking about it driving into the hip, up towards the ceiling. Last one or two in the forward direction, and then could you take it back to from where you came from? Again, it's still opposite, still peeling those hands away. Our shoulders are elevated as we're pushing the floor down. Last one or two. Then line your feet up, walk your hands towards your feet, tuck your chin, and we'll stack ourselves up. So blades together at the bottom, engage your muscles to pull and stack vertebrae by vertebrae with your head as last on top. Whew, take a second, shake that out.
Shaking it out. Checking in. Write a comment, make sure you subscribe, and let us know how you're doing this morning and every morning with the weekend workout. Not just designed for weekends, can be done on the weekdays as well. Here we are. Let's draw those circle shapes now again. So we'll get into a single leg squat with a leg out front. Then we'll be drawing a full circle here as we take that leg to the side. We can turn in on that inseam. This isn't our ballet class yet, but then reach that leg to the back. Stand up nice and tall. and then pull the leg underneath, finishing in that tall standing position. Reversing the circle once, we'll do a leg out the back on a single leg bend. Then keep the hip forward as you turn open in the hip to the side. Keep that inseam forward and bring it to the front. Let's stand nice and tall, and then just push the hip through to bring the leg home. Repeating on the other side. Open those toes and grip the ground. Reach a single leg forward. Point the toes, show that inseam forward as well. Then we can hide that inseam as we navigate that back corner. Extend the leg at the knee, stand the leg, and bring underneath. Repeating once to the back, knee over toe in the front. Now keep that hip forward as the leg reaches to the back, back to side, side to front. Straighten the standing leg, and then extend the hip further to bring the leg back home. Back to the ground. How are the wrists? Checking in.
Yeah, so we are spending a lot of time on those wrists, making sure they feel okay. We've been traveling in the forward backwards direction. Now I think it's time to travel in the side to side. Like, well, it was a monkey sound that didn't come out very well. So what you need is a little bit of space beside you. Let's first stand with our feet in our squat position and gently pulling the floor together as you descend to your safe low. And this can be done from a higher position, no problem. The pattern is hand, hand, foot, foot. Here we go. We take a hand, a foot, a foot, a hand, a foot, a foot. As you get that patterning going, could we add a little bit of that higher hops? But really, I want you to be the quietest monkey in town. Nobody needs to know you're here because it's illegal. Soft landings, breathing, getting towards that upside down position, and then ending back up in your squat and pressing your hips through to tall. I mean, you're not illegal in a zoo, but I don't think you can have a pet monkey.
Yeah, we don't want
here.
the SPCA called here because we have our monkeys. So
be quiet.
Play with your monkey, but keep it on the down low a little bit at the same time. Okay, let's do one more move with those legs. Ready to go? Yes, of course. Let's try to lift those legs in each position. It'll be a little bit intense. Take your leg to the front, stand nice and tall, and lift the leg for 3, 2, and then slowly tap down. Now reach out to the side and repeat the same thing.
Inseam forward.
The hip is low, the inseam is forward, the toes are pointed, tap down. Just bring it back to the front, extend tall, and bring the leg under. We'll avoid doing that out the back for today. Let's just do it again to the front and the side on the other leg. It's a single leg out front. Those inseams are forward and lift up. The hip is pointing down as the leg is going up. Tap down. Reach to the side, maintain that external rotation or turnout, and then just lift a little bit towards a lot of it. But if you're lifting higher, the hip needs to go down. Toe touch, bring it front, push through, finish tall.
Oh, my standing leg.
Standing legs doing a ton of work.
Especially because it's
Can
bent.
you try that one more time today? I promise it's the last rep of this variation for the legs. So let's reach it to the front, nice and controlled, and then lift. And could we stay off the ground this time as you reach it towards the side? And then let's tap down. Take a moment to reconsider and take a breath.
Don't reconsider.
And then lift it again. Bring it to the front. Tap it down. And then extend the hip through. Home. I'm going to shake and wiggle and enjoy that. We get one more time on the other side. So it's a straight leg out front on a single leg knee bend. We'll lift and out to the side, keeping those hips forward, and then tap down, take a breath, let's lift it up, move it to the front, tap down, and extend the hip through to bring the leg back.
Oh, no time to reconsider, because you'll reconsider why you're doing it.
That's allowed. We're allowed to check in though, Lauren.
All right, we're going on to practice one more little crawl, this time it being our crow. So it's like a stall.
Excellent.
So crawl meets a stand. I just made that up. All right, we're pull ourselves down again in that squat, pulling ourselves down. Hands are gripping wide on the floor, following my instructions as you go. With those hands gripping the floors, we'll get up on the tiptoes and bring our knees as close to the armpits as we can. We'll drift forward, but keep your toes down for now. Keep your toes down, but put some weight in those hands for 3, 2, and then rock yourself back to that low squat. Take a breath. Stay there, or hands grip, knees high. Drift yourself forward. One toe leads the floor, one foot leaves. Then place it down. Other foot leaves. Then place it down. Then back to your low squat. Either stay there or adding on by both feet leaving the ground this time. Hands grip, knees high. Shift your weight forward. Start to lift one, maybe lift the second. Feel the weight all through your hands. You're using all of your fingertips. If you drift too far forward, you use your hands to push yourself back. Extend those feet, soft landings, lifting the chest, pushing down and away to stand up tall. Whew. And give that a little shake. Excellent.
Excellent as well. Okay, we'll finish off with one more weight transfer squat here out to the side. Continue to open up those hips, and I'm sure Lauren might have one more little surprise for us by the end. So, feet in parallel, check. Then pivot on those hips, but turn out at the feet, and then reach out and safely land. Let's pull ourselves down into our squat, and by the time we stand up out of the squat, we'll be back to a single leg as you work on our Shiko here. So pull ourselves low squat, stand nice and tall, feet together. Then pick up to that ankle position, point, and land in the middle of those hips. And then same thing, straight knees pulling together. Then pull up and point, and repeat that phase again, or follow me as you find a single leg base of support, and then a point, and then a land, and find that ankle with a tight butt cheek squeeze on the other side, and point, and stay there, or find the knee, right away, good speed there, Lauren, as you point, and land. And one more time, find the knee, and that was maybe a little bit of a lie because it was that one more time, and what height is the best for you, and could you go a little higher? And if the knee goes higher, the hip goes low, and then one more time here as we squat, and balance, and climb, squat, push through, wiggle it together, and shake it out.
All right, we have one more move, and it's called the lizard, but we'll just make this a little bit of a lengthier lizard here. So what I'd like to do is let's do our hinge down. Chip chop on the hips. Walk yourself forward, out into a plank position. So legs are behind you, you're on your hands. Next, let's flick the floor away with a single leg. Bring it up towards the outside of that hand. Let's keep the hips up here. So I don't want you to be saggy towards the floor. Keep the hips up. Reach out the front knee and reach out the back heel like you're splitting yourself in half. Reach, 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 reach. Then pull that tension back into center. When you pull it back in, you should be able to lift that front foot off the floor and place it back where you got it. Switch. Other leg comes up. Reach long out the back heel, out the front knee. Push away from center. Then pull back to center, lift, and place it back. Back to that first foot. It comes up. First reach, splitting yourself in half. Now this time, bring the back knee down. When the back knee's down here, we're going to keep that back butt cheek squeeze, but flick the floor away and try to bend our knee, getting our heel as close to the butt as we can for 3, 2, foot comes down, toe tucks, knee lifts, front foot lifts up, goes back where it came from, other side. Reach, out the front knee, out the back heel first, split yourself. Then pulling back in, the back knee will land. You'll flick the floor away, getting the heel towards the butt, trying to keep that hip as extended as you can, but not the low back. Then tuck the back toe, push forward and back, pull together, lift the front leg, place it back where you got it, hip-so lift, walk your hands back to your feet into your hinge, and then slowly press yourself up, to tall. And how do those lizard hips feel?
Hips feel ready to rock for whatever else is up for today, and we hope that's the same case with you. Recharge with your workout and maybe some coffee behind the scenes here, and we look forward to doing this again next Saturday, 8 a.m., right here on the Bars and Bells YouTube channel. And if you're not familiar with our YouTube schedule, perhaps sign up for our link letter on the
website. Otherwise, on Tuesdays, we start again with our bell class here on YouTube. And on Thursdays, it's the other side of the room at the bar where we work on our mobility as well as our strength. And then back here at Saturdays. Next week in our semester is week 4. You can hop in and join us then, or you can look back in the archives and start at week 1. But until then, check out our Patreon, like and subscribe on YouTube, and check out our website. And also, take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.